Hi, I'm Alex54. I've spent the best part of 40 years upgrading from an Amsterdam to currently I run a Lin Streamer into Encore Class D amps and Townsend Glastonbury loudspeakers. Now for the last few months I've been involved in writing reviews for the new flagship Real Reviews that was launched recently on the WAM, and I'm here to chair this session with George Sallet, who's the editor and the sort of real force behind Real Reviews. So George, what's the philosophy behind Real Reviews?
Hi, and hi everyone. Well, we wanted to do something that was slightly different from conventional reviews. So the first thing to mention is Real Reviews are all written by whammers. These are people who are on the forum, people can email them, can talk to them. They're not hidden away or anything like that. These are real whammers who are writing reviews. All of them are experienced. You know, we're talking about decades of experience of either working in the industry, knowing the products, buying the products, or have been involved with that issue, but they are whammers. And just so you know who they all are, I've got a list of their names because we recruited a few in recently. We've got myself, we've got Kevin Fisk, who is a professional reviewer for Hi-Fi Critic, Alex Colburn, who you've already met, Pure Carbon, Rabsky, Paul Thomas, Dipstick, and also Ian Russell. So there's a fair cross-section of guys, and what they are doing is they are going to write and produce real reviews about real audio products.
And of course you're always looking for new reviewers.
Oh, of course, and we're looking for guys who've got the experience, who can evaluate products, and can also write in a way that's easy to understand, real English, and easy to digest. So, you know, we want a really good cross-section, but the important thing is that they are people who can do a good evaluation of an audio product.
So, I mean, whammers, they're intelligent guys, they're perceptive. All the reviews that come out in the mags, surely we're intelligent enough to sort of separate the wheat from the chaff. So why do we need real reviews?
Well, we need it because, firstly, there are a lot of people who are new to the hobby, new to the interest, and what they are looking at is, can you please tell us which of these products are worth looking at again? The aim is not to say, go buy one of these, go buy Lin, go buy Name, go buy an SOTM. The aim is to say, here's a product, we've had a look at it, we're going to put it in a context, and if it appeals to you, go out and have a listen. So it allows you to sort all that out without having to go through a huge amount of listening to a lot of products.
Okay, so what is the hi-fi trade's view of real reviews? Because basically we're an unknown entity. Do they see us as being safe to review their products? Whereas if they go to a big magazine, they know what they're going to get.
I think at the moment we need to establish ourselves. We need to show and gain the trust of the whammers initially, and then other people, about the reviews and the fact that people can trust the reviews. One thing I can say about the reviews, they're written by people whose interest and focus is music and on audio. The guys, we operate to quite a strict code, in as much as nobody's offered any inducement to write a good review about a product. If they write a review about a product and they find it's not what they want, that's what's going to get published. Now, they are also guys who will write without flowery English. So the days of when you read about pellucid, clear treble, subterranean bass, or the voice coils of God are gone. Because what the hell does that mean? And in fact, what it means is absolutely nothing to anyone. And also, we won't entertain guys who will write pages and pages that really doesn't say anything because they don't want to offend the advertisers. The real reviews is separate away from the business that goes on of Hi-Fi Wigwam, and as far as we're concerned, we get products in and we review those products. Not all the products are ones that advertise on the WAM, so we're not hidebound to what goes on. Don't get me wrong, we won't accept people writing very negative reviews or destructive reviews. That's not what it's about. We want people to be able to trust what we're saying because it is meant and it's come from somebody who has experienced and understands the product.
I think that's the critical point. It's the most important, because there's loads of reviews that I've read, and I've read them, and then I thought, well, what the hell has the guy been saying? I don't understand. You know, was it good or was it not?
And I think that's a problem, because you've got reviewers, and in the magazines they've got very large numbers of advertisers. They don't want to offend them, so they dress it up in a set of words that any normal person can't understand. Did you enjoy the product? You know, was the bass loose? Could you understand what the singers were saying? Did it time well? Did it sound like a good piece of music? And the answer is, you've no idea, even after you've read the review 2 or 3 times. What are they trying to say? Sometimes it's so diffuse it doesn't work. So our guys will write in clear English, easy to understand English, come straight to the point, say what they think, and then allow you as the user to be able to say, yeah, okay, this looks like the product for me, because they thought it was something with really deep bass, very fast driving item. That's what I want. Or, no, I don't want that. I want something else, slightly different. At least then you've got an idea of what you're going for. But subterranean bass, pellucid trebles, the whole shooting match, forget it. We won't have that.
So, what kinds of equipment can we look forward to being reviewed?
Well, we're hoping to get what I'll call interesting equipment. And by that, I don't mean we're going to go out and get £125,000 amplifiers and £200,000 speakers. They're fantastic to look at. They're great to review or admire from a distance. But let's be honest, not many whammers are going to own them. That doesn't mean we're looking for £10 cheap off the eBay equipment either. It's the sort of product that people can afford, and if I'm honest, the thing I'm looking for is the real game changer. There are products out there, you listen to them and think, wow, this is good, and it only costs £1,500. An example for me are the Nord amplifiers. I do not like, or did not like, Class D. I heard this amp, and it was brilliant. It was a great amp. It's £1,500, 400 watts a channel, cracking piece of kit, very reliable, got a positive review. That, for me, is what I really want us to go out and find.
And what sort of equipment do you think is going to be covered?
Well, we're going to do, I guess, the basics of a system. There have been new developments now. You can buy streamers with preamplifiers built in. And as a combo, that makes a cracking set of equipment. Great thing to have in your system. Makes it very simple, reduce the box count. You can use them, and you can get really good sound out of them. We've got at the show set of speakers by Bernick. They're tiny little things, but the bass goes right down to below 30 hertz. Excellent product. That's going to be a good review, I hope. We'll get one of those and try it out. But that looks like it's a good thing for people to get interested in.
What about things like cables?
Well, cables are controversial. There's no getting around that. I'm a cable believer. I think in some quarters, cables have been elevated to an altar, You know, for me, they make a difference, but if you haven't got the basics right, putting a £10,000 cable in isn't going to make your cheap amplifier sound like a name, like a Lin, like a Krell. It just doesn't work that way. But if you've got the basics right, why not add a nice cherry to the icing of the cake?
Well, I mean, maybe we should cover even more than that. What about retailers? I know you're keen to have reviews of retailers and get experiences of whammers themselves.
Yeah, we're looking at a range of other types of reviews. So there's the product reviews. There's reviews of shows. A lot of shows going on now. I know we're biased because we're here at the Wham show, and that's a great show. But there are some shows that are really very good. I like the dealer shows. They work really, really well. You get a chance to hear a good sound quality. So I think we should do that. We're going to have reviews of dealers. With a lot of bricks and mortar dealers closing, the dealers are getting rarer, and the good dealers are probably even rarer than that. So I think it's important that we mention good dealers, guys who see you as a customer who wants to buy a hi-fi system, not a walking wallet. Unfortunately, there are a few guys out there. So if the whammers say a dealer's good, then we want to know.
Right. So if you want to become a reviewer, what would you say their brief should be?
Well, I think we're looking for guys who've got audiophile experience. We've got guys who can write clear and easy to understand English. They must be honest reviewers, say what they find and hear, not be destructive. We also need guys who are able to assess a reasonable broad range of product. So they've got enough experience so they don't come on and say, well, this amplifier is brilliant, but it's the only amplifier they've ever actually reviewed or heard that is quite expensive. So we're looking for guys who can do that. But for me, we also have to remember that the writing has to be entertaining, and people need to look at it, get the message, without all the verbiage.
That sort of thing you can help them with, though. I mean, people shouldn't be afraid of coming forward and volunteering to do reviews. And if they do find a great piece of equipment, then they can come to you and say, look, I found this, it's really great, can I do a review for you?
Yeah, we've had a few reviews from people who've gone out and bought a piece of kit, and it's not justification of what they're buying. They've said it's a great piece of kit, and they've come on and written a review. And if helpful, then we can certainly guide them in what needs to be put down. You know, this is not a dictating of style. We've got a broad range of styles, some quite simple, straight to the point, others a bit more explanatory, some a bit more technical. That doesn't matter. As long as it's clear, easy to understand, gets to the point, and says what it means, that's great.
And what about the whammer who has, well, he thinks he has a very modest system, so he says, I can't possibly do any reviewing. How can I fit a fairly expensive piece of equipment into my system and then review it?
Well, we get a wide range of equipment. So, yeah, okay, we'll get a review of a £10,000 set of speakers, and a guy with a fairly inexpensive system might think, I can't really do them justice, and that's true. But we've also recently had a set of speakers that are active to review recently, and they cost £150. Well, there's no point in putting that in a £100,000 system, because you just won't be using them in the right way. They're the sort of products that we can get the right product to the right guy to do the proper review, and that's what we'll do.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I have for you, George. I don't know if there's anything you would like to follow up on.
I think just really for me, the honest review. Let me tell you what does go on in the industry, and I'm not happy with, and we won't do. And that is having equipment that's on loan to a reviewer permanently. We're not going to do that. There are some reviewers don't own a piece of hi-fi equipment. It's all on loan. No, that's not for us. how much obliged are you to those manufacturers because your £20,000 amp is on loan from them permanently? So we won't do that. Bribery or being induced for products, that isn't going to happen. So if a company comes along and says, hey, I'll fly you to Barbados where we're going to launch our new amplifier, we ain't going. I'm sorry, but that is just financial inducement to try and make the product and get a good review. So we're not going to do that. None of our guys will get products and then sell them on eBay, as has happened to a reviewer who's still working for a magazine. Isn't going to happen with us, because that's not what we're about. What we're on about, clear, easy to understand interviews, and they're honest. And when people trust us, when we gain their trust, then for me, that's what it's all about.
Okay, thank you very much, George. That's great.
Thanks very much, Alex.
And all I'd like to say is thanks very much to Peter and the Wham crew for putting on such a fantastic show.